Hey, Chad. How you doing?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Look who's here. Oh, hi, George.
Hi guys.
Hey,
How
George.
how are you doing?
Oh, better now.
That's good to hear.
Damn, Chuck, are you moving a house or what?
I grabbed the mic. I'm sick. Everybody else around here been sick. I took with it last night.
Oh, no.
I got a fever or what? It's in my ear, behind my eyes, in my chest, up my throat.
Yeah, don't feel bad. My every damn orifice I got, man, is spitting out some kind of fluid.
Oh, my goodness. That my daughter's the same way, and I'm like, that is not allergies. We'll spray in the house with
I
Lysol.
I haven't been sick in 30 years.
Goodness.
I was out there working outside on that mower, rolling around in that and dust and pollen and all that shit. I'm just wondering if I got something off it. That's what Vicky said. They've been sick with sinus, but
Yeah, something going around. I got hit with the double pneumonia. That fucking
shit.
put me down for a while for like 8 days, and then I decided, well, I haven't been smoking in 8 days. Might as well keep that going. Well, I tell you
Yeah.
what, quitting after 50 years of smoking a couple packs of cigarettes every day is not an easy thing to do.
No,
But I'm pretty far into it, so I'm gonna keep it up.
getting sick helps it out. That's why I tell them every time I get sick, I ain't gonna smoke no more, and I start smoking. Granted, I
I
ain't
don't
been
know.
sick.
I feel I'm starting to feel a lot better now. I mean, there for a while, couple weeks, I couldn't eat nothing. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah. Oh,
But now we're getting food down in me, so things
nothing.
are starting to get back to normal.
Meat puppet's on my side over. He said he's got your orifice.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, well. No, we're all dead, right?
Well, thank
ain't
God
that
it's
some
good.
shit, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I
Thank
just
God
see.
you're okay, George.
I'm streaming her to get people to come over to here if they don't see hers. And fuck, I don't even know where my point went. My mind's so scattered.
That's how mine was. I couldn't keep track of anything. I mean, I was mumbling to fucking some other language to some other fucking country. I don't know what the hell was going on. The
Only
old
thing
lady.
I can say with whatever this is my vision's really fucking good.
Mm.
But I think I'd rather have it fucked up and not feel like I do.
I just thought I'd like come up and say, I'm all right. I'm doing better, and you
Yeah.
just keep pushing on, right? I
Yeah,
know
Rabbit told me, he
it's
said he
been
knew
hell.
something when you said you didn't show up even to come on the game to give Ed hell for digging holes.
Well, I don't my expen I it's been hard for me to concentrate. So much shit going on, and so many fucking different things your fucking mind goes through when you're quitting smoking. Holy shit!
Oh, I know. I I tried. It didn't work with me. So I'm really proud of you for hanging on to it.
Yeah,
I,
I don't want. I'd rather do it now before the chaos really starts because I wouldn't want to
yes.
go through this then. And I was ready to do it because I had some, I had some, you know, chewing gum shit and patches and stuff like that. But still, I mean, I wouldn't want to go through what been going through.
Take
So
what's it, three
Yeah.
days, 3 days to get that off of your nicotine out of your system. Then you got to worry about the 7 days for the habit. Then the other thing's all mental.
oh, I'm still spitting shit up out of my lungs, coughing shit up out of my lungs. It's I couldn't believe anybody could hold that much shit. Ronan, good to
Hey,
see
how's
you,
it
my friend.
going? Good to see you too.
Ronan.
Good to hear you.
You look a little chickenish.
Yeah, a little peckish.
Yeah, I asked him one day. I said, "What the hell you got moving in your oven?" He goes, "That's chicken coop. It looked like an oven the way he had it that one night."
Yep, it's been called an oven and a refrigerator.
I can't remember what.
Tell him you're cooking fresh chicken.
I think I'd rather have it plucked first.
Yeah. Well, if you eat nuggets, you're getting all that together with it. That pink slime, that's feathers, bones, and all.
Yeah, pink goo.
Hi, Benjamin, Offers Kingdom. Maybe that. Good to see y'all. DJ.
Meat puppet, you still trucking her, huh?
Yep. He,
He got another job. They fired him for nothing.
yeah.
That's the signs of the times.
Yep. He seems happy with where he's at, I think.
Maybe it'll break out and they'll throw money at him.
Yeah. Better hope it's worth something, though.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Y'all keep an eye on the headlines. I'm seeing AI constantly, and it sounds concerning to a whole lot of people, not just us.
Well, you know, the half the world's already on a different system. It ain't going to be too much longer.
Yeah.
So, who knows? July, they're supposed to bring out the digital stuff. At least start trying to get people onto it, just like they did the the pointed things that they're putting in people. You know, it'll be nice and calm. It's be good for you. It ain't gonna be a big like, hey, you have to do it right off the bat. They're gonna try to get as many people as they can, and then they'll start their tutorial ways of doing things like they did with the deal. I mean, that's what the whole what we went through in 2019, 2020, all that bullshit was, for to set up for what's coming up next. And they'll run the same thing. They'll come out nice, got to have it. It's going to save you. You're going to get your money, and we're going to give you free money and all this. And then once they got enough people to it, then or if they don't get enough people, then they'll start. Hey, if you're a federal employee, you got to have it, and you know how they did it with the other stuff. So,
Yes.
but it's going to take them a while. It's nothing that's going to be overnight. So. We'll see if the American people accept it or if they fight it. I mean, it's going to be the slavery system of the world.
Yeah, you heard about what they did to a Cash App dude, got stabbed by one of his employees, and now they're talking about the Red Horn card or the Devil card or Lucifer card or some shit like that.
Huh. No, I didn't hear nothing about that.
Take its place. It's going to be part of the system that they're coming up with.
I just know that there's a lot of hoopla. They charge Trump with all these crimes, and then what's his next court date? December. What a fucking crock of shit is that?
Hurry up and wait. That's so we don't look somewhere else.
It's all by design. It's for them to, keep the people that are locked into this stupidity. Trust the plan. I mean, what plan, people? You're watching your country disappear in front of your own eyes, and you can't make anything out of it. What would we watch? Another cattle plant blow up?
Yep.
And now a plastic plant burning
Yep.
up. I mean, how many of these in the last, couple of years have we been watching? And how many has it been built that been replaced? None.
Yep.
We're in some real bad times coming up. And here's the thing about it is, it's not the first time in history that this shit's gone on. It's just that we're in a more of a modern age of it, but it's not the first time this shit's gone on.
No. And so more of us should be aware of it and keeping the flag up.
Well, it's keeping faith up. It's keeping. It's getting with your communities. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
the only way this crap stops. I mean, you got what, less than 1% of the world now just wanting all the sexual bullshit in the schools and everything else. I don't care what people do behind closed doors, but when you're forcing it on people and forcing it on schools and on children especially, that I got to draw a line, and especially the women, destroying women right now. I
Yes.
mean, there's
No other woman is going to be acknowledged for her abilities in sportsmanship.
women
Period.
are women are I mean, are a vital part of humanity. That's all that there is to it. They have a role in God's plan. It always has. The
Yeah.
problem is, what none of us have really discovered our roles. You know, that's why when women come out with this hate stuff about men, I'll tell you what, you better look at the Bible because Moses was a man, Adam was a man, and I could keep on going. Noah was a man. I could keep going. God favors man over a woman for certain things, but women have their place too,
I
and we
agree.
need to get it back to them basics. And men need to start standing up against this fucking bullshit. Excuse my language, but of these guys acting like women and taking over women's sports. I mean, how humiliating! You work as hard as you can to get into college. These bright athlete women, and to have some guy come in and steal it away from you. That is sick. And then
Yep.
they honor these guys. I mean, it's just sick.
Yes, it is.
Then the only way you could stop it is stop it in your communities. Bring it out.
And you
Come
got
together.
like the beer company say they just wanted to bring it to the attention of the woke people instead of the audience it had. I'm like, okay, you're bringing it to ones that don't have money to buy your product. Well, okay, good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's not their place to bring awareness. It's their place to just sell beer, make a good product. Their beer sucked before that was all this anyway. Like if they made a good product, that's your job. Your job isn't to wake people up as far as breweries go.
Right.
Well,
Hey,
I'm
that
just glad I don't drink no more.
got me with Jack. That's what used to be my thing. I used to drink Budweiser sometimes too, the real shit, but I preferred other stuff. But I did drink Jack Daniels.
Grey Goose and cognac. Cognac was one of my favorites.
So I'm getting the calls. Hey, Annie, Nunya, David.
But no, I seen the invite, so I thought I'd just come over, stop by, let you guys know. I'm all right. I'm just taking my time trying to get my health back. My stamina is what my problem is right now. So I don't spend too much time on the internet or anything right now.
I
I just
understand. I appreciate it, George. We've missed you.
Hey, you guys keep going. Well, hey, if I can get my dog to love me again,
Uh oh.
that's a hard fucking thing to do. Get your dog not to like you. Quit smoking. That'll do it. But otherwise, no, things are doing all right. Heck, man, almost all the snow's gone. The old lady's been busting up any snow piles that are left. She's out there already weeding out the gardens, getting them ready. So hopefully we might have a early planting season. But it's supposed to start snowing again Monday, so who knows?
That's what I've been hearing all above us. It got pretty warm here today, but
The weather's been crazy all over though. I
yeah,
mean, nothing's stable. So I don't know. A lot going on around the world. I mean, a lot more than what people understand is going on. I mean, look at France. man, they're in an uproar.
Yes.
And you're seeing a lot of moves happening over in the Middle East. Countries that the United States had apart, now they're starting to come back to agreements, and they're building their own alliances. And Brazil talking about they're leaving the dollar now. So we got some challenges ahead. Everybody.
Yeah, these dumb shits over here moving out of the neighborhood when they think of us, don't they? Yeah, fuck the U.S. is what they all think.
Well,
Hiya.
but if people understand how bad of a country we really have been for over 100 years, they'd think twice if they really knew our history instead of the history they taught you. But I mean, just take the Indians. Look at the genocide there, over 100 million women, children, and the elderly. Them weren't braves. I mean, there was some braves, but I mean, they were mostly the women, children, and the elderly. That's more than Mao and Stalin together. I mean, our history is not very good. In fact, it sucks. Tell you the truth, but hey, I heard we're going to the moon for the first time. I don't know what they made me watch in 1967 at school, but I hear we're going to the moon for the first time.
That's that studio they set up out in Salt Flats.
That was just the trailer. That was what you guys saw back. That was just a trailer for the upcoming movie now, here soon.
Good luck them cutting through all that space junk out there that they put up there.
Yeah, the trash belt.
Yep.
According to some, supposedly the sun has taken care of the belt.
Well, if it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't be existing here.
I know. That's why they're trying to block it out.
Yep.
They've been trying to do all kinds of things. I mean, these people are not nice. But you got to understand who the people are. This is what's crazy about it all. And I don't care if people can hate me or what I'm about to say, but you look at the people that it's behind it. Look at our government. Who do they praise the most? Israel. Israel plays a big place. There's my buddy Ed. I'm still on the college, and I'm looking like you, Ed. I'm not looking like William Mount. I'm looking more like you, so I feel good, buddy. But you know, we honor the people that hate Christians the most, and that's the Jews. Remember, their Messiah hasn't came. Remember, we have a Messiah. That's why they hate us. But they want everything from us.
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says. These are the people that purposely gave killed children in the name of Moloch. These people have many gods. They're not just one. That's why it's hard to trace them down all over where they're at. But they're evil. I'll tell you that right now. They're freaking evil.
The end of this month, they're having it's called a Satan Con in Boston. Huge satanic convention, whatever they call it. I can't remember it. All you got to do is Google it.
Moloch.
The 28th through the 30th.
Yep. Yeah, it's running rapid. I mean, that new motel in Texas is supposed to open up, the Satanic Motel.
What?
Yeah, just in Plano, Texas. I can go back and find a video and send it to you.
Wow. That's up there by.
That's like all them things they're putting in the sky up there, loaded with aluminum and barium, and then all kinds of funguses and viruses and germs and.
Yeah.
And that aluminum, I don't know what all barium. I think that affects the nervous system. I know aluminum causes. Guess what? Well, everybody I know is somebody knows has got some issue with kidney stuff. Aluminum causes kidney problems. Aluminum causes dementia, memory problems, headaches.
Yeah.
My mother's dog just had a stone cut out of her bladder today that is almost the size of an egg. I mean,
Wow.
it was huge.
Wow.
She's home and recuperating, but Mama sent me a picture of it next to a quarter, and I was like, oh my goodness. No wonder she was miserable.
How are you doing, Mr. Ed?
I'm doing good.
I got some of that. I got some of that lung stuff that you told me about. So I've been
Oh,
on.
what is it, mullein leaf or something?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Mullein, moringa, or something like that. It's really good.
Was it Mullen?
Moringa, yeah, mullein leaf's supposed to be good for you too. I forget what it does though. It's
I think it's
hang on a second.
It sure does help the lungs.
Yeah, it does. It opens up the blood vessels so that you can breathe better. I get this from. Can anybody see that?
I'm fixing to make it.
Moringa leaf.
Oh, okay.
Getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. It doesn't come from China. It comes from a reputable company right here in the U.S. So you can trust
China's little brother.
it.
You can use promo code Ed for an additional 20% off.
Speaking of which, I'll take it right now.
Hey, Ed, Rabbit's still got to fix it. I can't get in over in the game, so Rabbit's still got to fix my deal.
None of us can get in. I can't get in either.
Uh-oh.
It's an old house. Reset the server.
Uh-oh. Might have to fire up the Ed server. Because I'm ready to play some games.
Mine's boring. I'm already got level 6 everything, and I'm already level 300. I can't get any higher.
We got to start all over. Got to run around the neighborhood naked for a while there, Ed.
I bet you are ready to play some games. I remember that weakness and just being stuck, kind of.
Here the last couple of days, I've been feeling a lot better. It just, I don't know. My stamina still ain't there, but it'll get there. I got firewood coming, so I ain't going to have much choice.
Bonnie, Meat Pup wants to hope he can come up. Link.
Yeah, he was on your side. Is he on mine?
You want me to drop it over there?
I guess you would have to for him to come up, wouldn't you?
I'm asking if it's okay, and I guess it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oopsie.
Meat Puppets, one of the games.
I was being nice. Just imagine that, Chuck Nice.
Chuck on an off day.
Thank you for asking, Chuck.
You're welcome.
Never did get an answer, though.
Answer about what? Yoga says he still plays Final Fantasy 1. That's way back, like late 80s, early 90s, I think. AFSP. Damn, we got quiet.
I know.
I thought the internet froze up.
No. So, Ronan, I saw your little. That was funny. Little video.
Oh, whoa.
Hi, Meat Puppet. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. They let me have a title. I like it. The studio let me, below my name, just for display, it let me put a title in there. So as you
Trucker.
can, yep, as you can see, I picked one.
Okay.
Glad to hear you're feeling better, George.
Thank you there, bud.
I've been unemployed for about, well, let's see, since from March 2nd through about the last week of March when I found the place I'm with now. The abbreviated version, because I told this last night on Chuck's channel, is some guy was trying to run an insurance scam, claiming I hit his truck and all that other nonsense when I had clearly not hit him or anything for that matter. And get everybody pulled over. I had 2 county sheriffs and a state trooper and the dash cam video who all said I didn't do anything wrong. But once the insurance company got involved and said, we want you to fire your driver, they're like, yes, master, we fire you. And then I got fired the next week.
Insurance company run the world.
You know it.
They always have been.
You got
You
that
should
right.
be doing it quietly behind the scenes.
Yep. But this place where I'm at now, I get hourly pay versus mileage pay. And I'm able to get, by the looks of everything, I'll probably end up averaging between 40 to 50 hours a week. And if I get closer to 50, I'll get time and a half for those 10 hours. Plus, they pay me a flat rate while I'm sleeping, too, not just while I'm up and awake.
That's awesome.
You're making money like Michael Jordan now.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, the information they showed me in the email said I could make up to $100,000 a year. They started me out closer to 50, so I'm assuming I have to work my way up after a year or two to get to the $100,000.
It's the $100,000
But other than that,
pyramid.
I mean, it's a great company, decent equipment. I only work Tuesday through Saturday, so I get to go home at the end of every week, so I don't have to worry about my legs and feet swelling up too much like a fat piece of sausage
Well, there you
from
go.
sitting in the seat too much. But I'm going to take a minute and crank down some gear and hook up to this trailer so I can get down the road for a minute. So
All right.
I will temporarily mute myself, and I'll be right back.
All right, Meat Puppet. Thank you. Hi, Yorga.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, not much. Just since I deleted it last night because I had family show up suddenly, I was like, okay, redo.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still in lawnmower hell. I don't want to talk about it.
And Chuck, I was going to ask you, do you have poison ivy in your yard? Oh, that's muted. Okay.
I haven't seen any. I have some over there by the shed.
Because Mike's husband, when he used to mow, the poison ivy he would break out all over and couldn't breathe. And
And we got it here.
yep.
I got hit 2 years ago with it pretty good all over my arms and shit. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I've never had it. And that's what,
You might not be allergic to it. I heard some people can waller all in that stuff and it doesn't do nothing. I don't know if that's true or not.
well, that would be a miracle because it seems to be everything else.
Yeah,
course,
I'm one of those people that there's 5 people sitting around and there's a bunch of mosquitoes. They're all going to be on me.
Yeah. Yeah, the things I shouldn't be allergic to, I am. Should be not. It's backwards.
I think you can grow into some allergies as well. I love milk, but if I drink that stuff now, the inside of my ears start itching. I don't know
Yeah.
what that means, but I mean, I know it's allergic something. I guess lactate intolerant, whatever you call it.
And you can grow into them. The older I get, the more it adds to the
The,
list.
the
Yeah,
phrase
just
you're
one.
looking for is lactose intolerant.
Yeah, that's yeah. There you go. What did I say?
Lactate.
Lactate intolerate. I've got
Same.
lactate intolerate.
Same thing, just abbreviated.
Right. If it don't fit, you must have quit.
And the itching is a sign of an allergic reaction.
Yeah, that sucks. The older you get, it's bad enough your body's falling apart and stuff, you know. But I love milk. I can't drink it.
Yeah. Have you tried like almond milk or coconut milk? Any of those?
No, only during those days where I was feeling kind of jolly. No, I'm
Georgia, I
kidding.
don't think it's the milk doing it. I think it's 4G and 5G causing the itching.
It might be. I've got a telephone pole in my yard that I call the Chernobyl pole. It's got every freaking cable going in this entire county. It's got Verizon. It's got Comcast. It's got HBO. It's got VD. It's got Virginia Department of freaking Transportation. It's got everything. And I know, I mean, I took electronics in college, believe it or not. So I know enough to know there's a lot of EMF flowing around all these lines that are coming in. So God only knows what it's doing to me. I did get a zit right here. I'm thinking I might be growing a new eyeball. I don't know.
That's why you be blind with your third eye.
Right. Yeah, I hate that telephone pole. God, I hate that thing.
At least they ain't got it covered in satellite probes and all that shit for repeaters for 5G.
I don't think it does, but I've got I guess it's a cell phone tower I can see from my house. It's the very top of it, over the trees. I can see it. It's got
Yeah.
all those thingamadoos all over it. So who the hell knows?
The white boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Who knows what we're getting bombarded by?
I heard the train off in the distance here at my house
Oh,
when Biden was brought in. This fake president was elected. All the trains stopped.
Oh
And
wow.
they were running every day. You could set your watch by it when Trump was in there. And as soon as he got in, they all stopped. Now they're starting back up again. That
Oh,
might be
wow.
a good sign.
That's because they know it distracts them. That and ice cream.
I'm not
Yeah.
as close to it as you, though, Chuck.
choo-choo train.
Yeah, choo-choo trains, clowns, ice cream.
Right, a pony.
That and little kids.
Yeah, little. Yeah, likes to do some sniffing. He does.
Oh.
What a creep.
He's
Yeah.
a super creep.
He's got that little white mullet coming off the back right here. What's up with that?
Well, but what the question is it him or is it his clone?
God, yeah, how could you clone something so horrible as that?
I don't know.
That's his chia pet overgrowth.
Chia pet overgrowth, he says. It could be. Chia pets are pretty popular, so it certainly could be.
We had a long time ago. We had an Obama chia pet. It was freaking hilarious. I don't mind telling you, it was freaking hilarious. Somebody in my family painted it, and it was definitely not politically correct.
Who cares about if it's politically correct or not? I'm not politically correct. I call it like I see it.
My
You
cousin,
don't like it?
It was funny though, man. It was funny.
my cousin did one of the Obama ones and had the the seeds all over. And when it started growing, she posted a picture on Facebook that said looked like Obama got stuck in a porno. It was horrible the way all that
The
stuff was all
70s,
over
the
it.
70s Afro porno.
Yeah, with the tube stops.
Oh, the tube socks makes the whole look.
Yeah,
gotta
you
have
know
a
what?
tube
You know
sock.
what era of porno you're in when you see the tube stocks.
Yeah.
The tube
And the
socks
film
and the
is so
crappy
bad, you could
music.
just see there was a guy back there going, I want no videotape.
Boy, the 8mm.
Yeah, 8mm. No sound.
I'm playing dodge the potholes. Of course, that's Minneapolis for you. The land of 10,000 dumbass drivers who have no idea what they're doing.
Well, yeah. I was gonna put something on Facebook today about that, but
I did. I made a post after, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday on my personal page. I said, Minneapolis, the land of 10,000 dumbass drivers who have no clue what they're doing. And I got a buddy who lives up here. He's like, yeah, you're not wrong.
still makes me wonder if that's where the zombie people are driving on the roads.
Maybe.
When it snows here, everybody goes crazy because they don't know how to drive in the snow. They don't know how to deal with it. We can get that much snow, and there's wrecks everywhere. It's like, good.
I'd be the guy out driving, doing donuts in an empty parking lot while everybody's at home afraid of a half an inch of snow.
Yeah.
That's the way Texas is. It completely closes down.
Oh, the last time Texas had that real bad ice storm down there in Dallas, Fort Worth, and over towards
Round.
Shreveport and what have you there
Yeah.
on 20 or no, maybe 30. Might have been 20 or 30 coming eastbound. I was in that mess, and there's a couple times I almost got my truck stuck and had to have it partially towed out just to get down the service road past all the backup on the highway so I could get over to the Metroplex.
Yeah, but with ice, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing nobody can do. We get that. We call it black ice up here, man. It's just like a thin layer.
Yeah, no, it was almost like a black ice, but there was just enough traction where you could still drive if you were going really slow. And so
Yes.
I took the service roads. What got me stuck is I went into a dirt lot and tried to turn around because I missed my turn.
Uh-oh.
So I was being a little bit of a dumbass and got stuck, partially.
Yeah.
But-
It turns to mush here, so it is easy to get stuck.
But that was the trip when I was down there in Texas. I got this big giant coffee cup that Chuck has seen. It's almost as tall as a Gatorade Sport bottle with the twist tops, and
Yeah.
probably 6 inches in diameter, maybe 12. I mean, it's a huge cup. You could probably fit about I don't know. What do you think, Chuck? Probably what, 6 cups or 8 cups of coffee in that one giant mug?
Yeah, it looked like it held a whole pot almost.
I was going to say you might be able to get the whole pot in there. It was a big thing. I said everything's bigger in Texas. It was like $25 for this big ceramic mug. I seen it. I'm like, I had to get it.
Have you used it, or you just put it on the shelf?
So far, it's just been on the shelf. But when I get home this weekend, if I can get to the store and get enough K-cups to make a full pot of coffee, I'm gonna try it. Because right now at the house, all we got is those K-cup machines.
Mm.
So I may have to go over to a buddy's house with a normal pot of coffee and just try it that way.
Fill it up with beer and say, I only had one beer.
Right? Yeah, only had one. You know, there are some days with all the nonsense I see out here and running up and down these highways. I'm not a drinking man, but there are some days I've considered starting.
It can get very tempting. I can understand that.
But
The one thing that bothers me a lot right now, out on the roads,
Mhm.
and I sit here on this didn't used to be a busy road, but it's starting to get to be a busy road. And
Right.
from right where I'm sitting right here, I could look out and I could see the road. It's got a
Sure.
double yellow line on it, so speed limit's like 45 and then 35.
45 or
Anyways,
something like that. Yeah.
the thing that pisses me off is, and I'll see it, not even when I'm driving, I'll see it right here. I'll see one car coming down the road and another car right behind them. Like they're on their phone and they're like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. It's like, man, back the hell off. And they do it to me. They do it to me. And I mean, it's one thing if you're in traffic on the interstate and it's bumper to bumper, I get that. But when you're the only two cars on the road and one guy's right on your ass, man, I start getting pissed off. I start slamming on my brakes. Sometimes I'll pull over. I don't want to road rage, but I'll get right behind them and get up on their ass. Like, what are you thinking, man? And who knows if it's a 20-year-old girl? I don't want to get in it. I don't want to, be getting into it, because it might be somebody's daughter or where else, because they're just not thinking is what it is. They're not thinking. They're just out there, plug the car in. It's like a video game, and then just go, I can't go any faster, so I'll sit right here on this guy's ass. Man, back the hell off. If somebody's going way slower than me, now I've done it before without thinking, and then I'll go, wait a minute, and then just back, because I'm not going to get there any quicker anyhow.
No, whether you're going real fast or you keep backing off and letting people in front of you, you're still going to get there in the same amount of time.
You're going to get there. A lot of times you'll get there quicker if you're just patient. But I see that. I mean, I could sit here. I could sit here for 5 minutes, and I guarantee you I'll see two cars just look like in tandem.
Oh, I got stories. I could spend. We don't have enough time for the stories I can tell you. I've seen everything from people getting dressed, taking their clothes off, putting on makeup, shaving, to feet up on the dashboard, one out the window.
The craziest one I saw, and I swear to God I saw this on Midlothian Turnpike, was a guy, and he was driving good. I just happened to look over because I was up in a truck and I could look down into, he was driving a Volvo or something.
Sure.
Had a 3-piece suit on, shoe off, sock off. His foot was up in the steering wheel. His toes were doing the steering wheel. He had a laptop and all this stuff spread out like he was in his office, man. I was amazed. And he had a pen hanging out of his mouth, like, to write stuff down. And man, driving was the last thing on this guy's agenda. But he was good. I got to hand it to him. The guy was good at it.
I've seen that. I've seen people with one hand on the wheel, one hand with the cell phone up to their ear. People with both wrists on the wheel while they're trying to text. People with like little tablets watching movies with some contraption where it's strapped to the wheel as they're going down the road trying to watch a movie.
Women with makeup.
But don't. We like I said, we don't have enough time for all that. But yes.
Thank you, Alfred's Kingdom.
What gets me now is damn truck drivers drive them trucks like they're on a motorcycle. They'll cut right in front of you in the hammer lane like you're not even there.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Some of them are there's plenty of good drivers, but there's more than your share of not so good drivers. What you got to remember though is in most states, if you rear end somebody, it's your fault.
It is
automatically.
It is. I was going to bring that up because that whole thing I was talking about is following too close. I've had at least 2 wrecks where maybe I wasn't paying attention or whatever. Somebody slammed on their brakes. I hit them in the ass, and it was their fault, because they stopped too quick. All of a sudden, I got to go left, and they slam on the brake, But it's all my fault because I'm behind them. I'm traveling too close. I had to go to driving school. All sorts of dumb shit.
I think their whole thing behind it is you can eat this trailer or you can hit your brakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or both.
In Chicago, if you stop too fast at a yellow light, you get a ticket for that.
Really?
Yep.
Yep, because
you really do. Yep. Every single time too.
That only makes sense.
Well, the way they drive in Chicago is ass backwards, to put it politely. I've done
speed up.
all kinds of refrigerated loads and non-refrigerated loads up in and around and through the entirety of Chicagoland. I can tell you, there's some crazy ass drivers. If you're going with the flow of traffic, and let's just say traffic is doing 75, and you're just hauling ass from one end of town to the other, cops won't even think twice. But if you're over in the Hammer Lane doing 45 or 50, you're holding the shit up, no matter what lane you're in, they're going to pull your ass over and be like, what are you doing?
Wow.
I see.
Yeah,
It
keep
should
it
be
going.
that way. That's just causing people to do stupid shit to get around them and cause accidents.
Oh yeah, there are people right up, get impatient if there's a traffic jam because some dumbass had an accident. You'll see cars and trucks riding up the median, the emergency lane, as it were, on the right side, between them and the Jersey barriers,
My
riding up
daughter's
all
my,
hit the exits and stuff.
my daughter's 23 and she didn't know you're supposed to stay in the right lane and let you pass it.
Yep.
He was just grooving along in the left-hand lane. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? She said, I'm just driving, Dad. I said, get the hell over. Let
Right.
people get around you.
Passing lane.
If I always like to say, if I'm passing you on the right hand side, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. You know what? Something else they've come up with here that maybe you guys already have, but it's been only within the last couple of years they started doing it here. Say I come up to a stoplight and traffic can go, any old which way direction, but I'm at a stoplight and the people coming towards me can go left, which would be in front of me. They get a green light, a green arrow, then a yellow arrow, and then it starts blinking yellow. And what that means is you can go if there's nobody coming from my direction. And there's so many people here that think that blinking yellow light is still just a yellow light. So I've already got a green.
You got to. It's the blinking yellow is a yield sign, essentially.
Right. But they don't understand that, and they look at me like, because I'll get the green and take off, and then they shoot across in front of me, look at me like, what? I'm like, I got a green light, you dumbass.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
caused
it's
a
all
lot
about
of
them.
wrecks
They're-
around here.
Yeah, it sure is. I see it all the time. Everybody's
caused a
doing
whole
like that,
lot
and they
of
wreck because they think that they're more important than everybody else.
You know what does it here? The red yield signs.
Yeah.
It's like people don't know what red means, and
Yeah.
so we have it's usually on a curve, and they come in onto the highway. It's like an entrance ramp, but they will
Yep.
not yield for nothing. I have had to drive up in the median to keep a big purple semi from running over my car. All I could see was
Well,
purple.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I think you meant the shoulder emergency lane, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but
I
what you
think
got to
the
remember is
WEF ought to just solve all y'all's problems and no one gets to drive no more.
No.
Or all the
Yeah,
cars
that's
are going to be
not-
automated, and you just
We
get
don't
in
need
and
your
it just
15
takes
minutes
you where
to
you're
do
going.
I was gonna say that neither of those solutions are gonna work, unfortunately.
They-
There's
no,
just too
they're
many
not gonna
stupid
work.
people.
That's the thing. I've heard like people like Glenn Beck say, within 5 years, all cars are going to be, automatically driven. No, they ain't.
But
No,
well,
they're
here's
not.
the problem though. That even if let's say in 5 years, let's say 30% are electric cars like they want, they can't handle the cars they have, electric cars they have now charging overnight,
I
I
don't
know.
know.
all at the same time.
Hey, think
How
of
are they
this.
gonna
Look at how
handle
much
another?
the world's changed in the last 2 years. Go to
Sure.
your stores and look at how much bug shit it's being sold right now on the shelves of your stores. Don't
Yeah.
tell me this shit ain't happening. It's just that y'all ain't noticing it.
And
Oh,
the
I've noticed.
shelves, I'm seeing bare shelves. I'm seeing
You
funky
go to the
colored
stores
meat.
and you look at all the bug shit that's being sold right now on them shelves.
Yep.
I've noticed a whole lot of Bud Light ain't being sold right now. I've actually, believe it or not, I drink Miller Lite. When I go into the store, I've been kind of looking for those Gillen Mulvaney cans because I figured, man, in 20 years, these things going to be worth a lot of damn money. So I would go ahead and buy up like a 6-pack and put it in my attic or something, but I can't find that shit nowhere. But they're still not selling anything. Every time I go to buy a Bud Light, they're almost
No,
out.
they're not.
Every time I go to buy a Miller Light, they're almost out and the Bud Light's full to the brim.
And well, I saw
Yeah, I
it
was gonna say the Miller and
today.
Coors, pretty much anything but the. But
I
that.
saw a chart
Sorry, go ahead,
today
Bonnie.
that was showing how the sales everywhere have gone down. They're
Oh, yeah.
like really going
Really?
down, and people are not spending like they were. And even in the gardening sections, that everything It's like the people that were going to stock up on stuff have done it, and it's just all, and no one can afford to with the gas and
No, the inflation. No,
the
the inflation
prices of the food, and just anything. Get a
well, and the
garden.
inflation is just. This is just the start. The inflation. Before long, you're going to end up. Before it's all said and done, depending on how long they wait to roll out the CBDC, it's going to get so bad you're going to be spending your entire day's wage just for a gallon of milk or a
Yeah.
loaf of bread.
Yep.
You know, in good news, they just broke ground on a Lego plant here in my county. No, it's true.
Oh, that's what we need, more Legos.
Well, it's thankfully Republicans are the ones that got it, that whole thing moving and got it in here. So some European
but-
company.
Fuck your Republicans and fucking.
I mean, but the
They're saying
Republicans
that
are no different than the Democrats because they only care about one thing: money and power.
Well,
No matter
all
what
right.
party they're behind.
Anyway, we got a new Lego plant. The thing that gets me is they're saying they're going to do it completely green with solar power. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to do that?
They're not. They're
They can't.
no.
That's
No.
impossible.
What I mean, if they use like say the solar powered generators with the panels and the batteries, some of the better ones you can get, you can stack up to 96 batteries and up to I think
What
8
are-
panels per 8 panels and 96 batteries.
What are Legos made out of?
Plastic.
And
Yeah,
what's green
fossil
about that?
fuels. Fossil
What-
fuels.
What's green about that?
Yeah, what's green about that? I know, I get it. And look, I was in industry for 35 years, and I can tell you, I know what it takes to run a big plant, a big factory. And
Yeah, they're
how
not
the
going to
hell
run
you
it
gonna do
completely
it?
green.
How
They're
the
not.
hell are you going to do it? We used to have tons of steam, chilled water, tons of electricity.
Mhm.
You know, just everything you could think of to keep the place going. And
Yep. Well,
ain't
Amen.
no way in hell. They aren't even going to be able to put all the lights on in that place just through solar power.
no,
They meant that's
even
just
if
where
you
they're
got
gonna make the green Legos.
right.
Yeah, give me some of them.
Yeah, green
Legos.
colored Legos. Yeah, sure, maybe, but green energy. There's no way. Because even case in point, all these guys say, "Oh, I got my electric car. I can plug it in and charge it." Yeah, but what you don't realize is your electricity comes from a coal fire or nuclear power plant, which is not green energy.
And it takes like the same amount of electricity as what, a dozen refrigerators or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
Something else I want to say about that, and then I'll shut up. But every
Yeah.
time, like say the mainstream media shows like a nuke plant, they show those big things those are cooling towers, man. They don't have nothing to do. They're not reactors. They pump water up to a certain level. The water drops, and as it's dropping, it cools, and they use the chilled water for their processes. That's it.
Right.
The other thing I was going to say is when I was a kid, my father worked at the same factory I worked at. So when I was a kid, you know, they were bellowing real smoke at this place, and it would go into our neighborhood and it stunk, and everybody hooted on me because my old man worked there, and you know that's where it stinks and everything. Yeah,
hmm
but now that plant, and I mean they started all this in the 70s. They've cleaned it up so much, and a lot of times on mainstream media they might show a plant somewhere and there's smokestacks and there's stuff coming out, but all that stuff that's coming out is nothing but water vapor. It's steam. It's not smoke anymore. Of course, you know, to the untrained eye, that's, oh my God, look at they're polluting, and there's nothing coming out of there but water vapor, steam.
And there's so many things we could be doing with the water vapor.
Well,
Well, the thing is, we've cleaned up a shitload since the 70s, and they're still not happy.
Mhm.
You know, and it's
Well,
you gotta
here's the
have
thing,
industry, man. You gotta have
you- you-
industry.
No, you absolutely got to have industry. I agree. Here's the whole crux of the deal. You could eliminate all emissions starting tomorrow if you could wave a magic red button and push it, and all emissions are gone tomorrow from here into forever. And the temperature of the entire world would only go down by 1/10 of 1 degree. It's a load of horse shit.
And
right?
how long would that take? Probably 10 years or so,
I
right?
was going to say it takes
But-
like 10 years for that.
But the other thing is There's what, 2 different guys who invented cars that could run off water to
Yep.
make hydrogen, and then they both end up dead and they suppress the tech. You
Mhm.
can imagine why. A guy had a carburetor 100 miles to 1 gallon of gas. Oh, he got off or suicided.
All you have to do is have 2 wires, positive and negative, put it in water, bubbles come up, and those bubbles are hydrogen. And you can run a vehicle
Yeah.
off hydrogen. It's that simple. It's electrolysis.
Sure.
It's not that much to it.
No.
Thank you, Nancy. Love you too.
I
Well,
saw a guy with a steam-powered tricycle today on YouTube. He had a 55-gallon drum on the back of this thing where the fire went, and then he had like a boiler on there and everything. He was scooting on down the road, man, all steam-powered. It's hilarious.
Sure.
back when my grandmother was on oxygen, the oxygen tank, it looked like kind of like a foot tub when you go get a pedicure or something, I guess. And then it had the controls and everything on the back of it, but there was water in there, and that's what she was getting the oxygen off of, was the water.
Wow.
Yeah, it's known as a gasifier. Look it up
Oh.
on the internet. It's called a gasifier. They used
I
to
didn't-
run pickup trucks and cars with it.
Yep.
Gasifier.
You could with the gasifiers, yeah. I've seen them, yeah. That's basically what it is. It gasifies it and gives them the oxygen.
My
Well,
father,
if you ever burn wood and you ever hear it pop and do like that, or you'll hear it almost go out and then all of a sudden it like explodes and catches back on fire. That's what it is. It's the water
Mhm.
vapors are a form of fuel. That's
Yep.
what it is.
Yeah, when they separate, you got hydrogen and oxygen, which both is flammable.
then you need a steam trap so it won't fill up with condensate.
Mhm.
There's a video on how to make your own water-powered vehicle.
Yep.
It's really simple to do.
Yeah, you can make your own generator out of that runs on water.
Do you know something I never could understand? Well, I do now, but when I was a kid, my father flew P-47 Thunderbolts from World War II, and they had this thing called water injection. When they really wanted it, and I was thinking, water injection? But what it was once you get up to a certain altitude, the air gets thinner. So they had this water injection that would spray a little bit of water into the cylinders, and it faked the motor out into thinking it was at a lower altitude, and they could get higher and perform better. But I never, it never would have dawned on me. Yeah, shoot some water in there.
Right?
Works.
'Cause didn't they tell you, no, that's bad for your vehicle way back?
Yeah, but my vehicle isn't at 30,000 feet. It probably run great.
Yep.
That's why they switched everything to fuel injection and electronics, because it's easier to switch your car over to water-powered if it's just a carbureted version. You can do it real simple.
Wow. My Corvette
So,
got a carburetor.
all you men that know how to do this, and it's real simple, should be out helping all of us women get these things done.
But once we invent it, we'll get murdered.
Everybody that builds it ends up dead.
If I invent it, I'll disappear.
The guy that put
Right.
the video out wouldn't show his face. He only
No,
show his
No,
head.
all you got to do is just leak it to 4chan and Reddit before you post it online. It'll spread like crazy.
I downloaded the video. I got it on my computer.
We don't want to video it, and if we need to, we'll hide John. Women are good
If
at
you
hiding
can fill your
things.
car. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Women are
just gonna say,
good at hiding things or losing things.
but how great would it be if you could just put your water hose in your car and fill it up with water, and then you're good to go?
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be outstanding.
Yeah. I mean,
But then the economy collapses because the oil companies ain't got
Well,
shit.
look, that's going to happen in the next year or so anyway. So at this point, you might as well just go for broke.
A horse.
Yeah, a goat, a big one.
Well, yeah, depending on how long they wait to roll over to the CBDC so they can control and track everything. The collapse that's coming will make 1929 look like a stroll through the park on Sunday.
I hope not.
Oh, I wish I was wrong about that, but if you just take a minute and think about all the trillions of dollars they printed out of absolutely thin air,
No, I
not
know
backed
it
by
scares me.
absolutely anything.
Scares me to death, man. I'm in the stock market heavily, man, and it's I'm just kind of hanging on for now, and everything ain't been that bad.
Gold,
But
gold and silver will be all right for a little while, but there's this book somewhere some guy wrote one time that says gold and silver will be completely worthless before too much longer.
I think it is too. I think it is too. I swear to God, I've thought this for years. And you hear these pundits on talk radio talk, with their commercials about buy gold now. Buy if gold is so great to buy now, how come everybody wants to sell that shit?
Right.
know?
Well, it's always the tagline. Oh, it's never been worth zero. Buy it now. I'm thinking
Right.
it hasn't been worth zero yet.
Yeah, but they still use it in all their technology and computers
No, they
and all
do.
that.
Forget
There'll always
that.
be a need for it. There's a
Forget
finite
that.
amount
Let's
of it.
say we get in worst case scenario and everything goes to hell. And people like us, I've got food stored up, I've got water stored up. I'm going to be okay for a while. But if I got a chunk of gold, I can't go down to Joe Blow to try to get some eggs because he's got chickens. He ain't going. What's this going to do for me? A piece of gold. He ain't going to do nothing. I need to trade him cigarettes or something.
Ammo or
Yes,
water.
harder.
Or, yeah.
That's why
piece
we
of
need to
gold.
get to know our communities so we know what people are
Yeah.
going to be trustworthy doing that also, because just like everything, there's going to be bad apples.
Yeah, but let's say we're 5 years into it, 10 years into it. A piece of gold ain't gonna do you no good. It's just a rock. It might look pretty, but it ain't gonna provide any food or shelter or anything else. Ain't gonna do nothing.
I wouldn't buy gold because using alchemy, you can already turn copper into gold. So once everybody learns how to do that, gold's not going to be worth nothing.
Yeah, Count Saint Germain, he was the guy that could do that. Although he was turning lead into gold.
Silver is a strategic metal. You find
That's
it
what I
in
hear.
every kind of electronics nowadays. So remember one thing. Every time they use it, they throw it away. It's no good. So
There's also medicinal uses in gold and silver as well.
Yeah.
There's
always-
silver, colloidal gold. There's
it's not about being able to use it to eat. It's about being able to use it to start a new currency. That's what it's about. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to trade silver and all that. No, it's about being able to start a new currency. After.
Well, they've even on Glenn Beck. They come out with these things, or I guess they're about as big as a dollar bill, but they have all these little chunks of gold that you can click off, and that's exactly what they're for. They're for currency to.
Yeah, but you tell me how many people. You tell me how many people's going to trade for a piece of silver.
Nobody.
Yeah, you can't eat silver.
It's just
unfortunately.
bullshit. The Glenn Beck and that do that just because they get paid for every time they sell it.
Oh,
They
I
acquire
know.
that
I
shit.
know. I don't trust me. I listen to him because there's nothing else on. And every now and then he's good, but most times he sucks.
No, well, what I'm saying is it's a promotional deal how they make money right now.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing about true survival. Glenn Beck wouldn't last a week. Most people.
Yep.
You
Most
better
people.
understand one thing. How long can you live without food?
Couple weeks.
I've got enough for about a year.
I'm
without
saying,
eating,
I'm saying how much. All right,
average 30
you're good
days.
for a year. What happens if it lasts 10 years?
I don't
Me,
know.
I look at
I'll
it.
have to
if it
figure
goes
it out.
down,
I'll have
it's
to
going to
figure
be
it out.
that
But
way the rest of my life.
That's why you need to seed
Because
what
you don't take something down and then just automatically start it back up.
no, you don't.
Yes.
It's going to take years to get something
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't know.
Well-
I know I've got enough for a year here. I have to, hustle and get some other things going. My worst fear is, and I've got plenty of pew. You know what I mean? But if it got real bad, and I'm not in a neighborhood, but I can see houses around me, if it got to the point of total freaking shutdown, and people started coming to houses, I'm gonna have my hands full. And if
Yeah.
and if I took a few of them out and they get really pissed off, they can catch my shit on fire, and I ain't got no way out of that. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
and that's
that-
where you have to vet the people, and because we have to be there to help others also. We can't just wipe them all out just because they're starving, can we?
People are starving now.
no,
I mean,
but if they're threatening me in my life, then I'm gonna have to take them out.
Well,
That's-
Well-
absolutely. If it's protection, yes.
If they're
But
coming here begging, that's different. I'd probably give them something.
and that's where we're going to have to really follow God's word on.
Cool thing about here is I've got a single guy that's this way who's cool. These are grown men, and a single guy right behind me. We're on a point that's cool, and they're all, armed, shall we say?
Oh, wait.
And so we could probably do a pretty good standoff if we had to between us three.
Yeah, but that's not going to last so long because you're
I know.
limited resources. But
And if you stack too much where you're at in one spot and then you get pushed out of there, you can't grab it and carry that shit with you. So make sure you got it hidden to where if you ever can get back, you know where it is.
I got that. I got bug out containers. I got, that don't mean I've got it completely together. I don't, because trust me, I don't want to see none of this shit go down. Right? No.
no, I'm
None of
planning
it's
on getting the first boat out of here. But
I have friends that I think they can't wait for something really crappy to happen because they prepared and everything. They're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's like,
well,
man,
but here's
you almost
the-
seem
the-
eager about it, man. Don't be that way.
well, you shouldn't be too eager about it. You're right. But here's the thing: you got to remember, you got to balance between prepping too much and not enough. Because if you prep too much and people find out, the first
Yeah.
thing they're gonna do is come try to steal your stuff.
Yep, they call them werewolf preppers.
Yeah, y'all were telling me about that. That frightens me to death.
Well, and there could be some people like that, and that's why I'm reaching out to my emergency response people, the people who do the planning for any kind of emergencies, because it could be anything. If my house
Sure.
burned down today, do I have anything somewhere else? No. That I can start over? No, I don't.
Yeah, my Jeep. You know?
So we need to plan like that also. And, if you have a good community and if there's a safe place, I don't know. It's hard to figure it all out, but I just think the first steps are getting your communities together and just having talks about
Get
any kind of
yourself together.
disaster coming. Look at Tennessee and Arkansas that were just wiped out by tornadoes.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, and the flooding down in Florida right now.
But you've
Yes.
got a great point. And I'll back up just a minute. I know I'm talking a lot, but I do want to say this. Way back when everybody was worried about Y2K, okay? And I was worried about it, but I wasn't as freaked out, I guess, as I am now. But I did, get water and spam and stuff like this, because I had some small kids and everything. And a friend of mine who's very wise, I talked to him about it, and this is getting close to Y2K. It's getting a couple months down the road. And he told me, I said, am I stupid to be preparing? I said, because some people, laugh at me. He said, no. He said, and here's why. If that doesn't happen, something else probably will. So you always need to be prepared for a tornado, an earthquake, social unrest, whatever. If you're prepared, at least you could sleep at night and feel a little bit better about, I've got a stockpile of this, that, and the other back here.
Yep. Hi, John Dunning.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Hey, John. Hey, Jason.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason's got a good point. No real prepper wants this to happen. No, I don't. And you know,
glad I'm
I
not a prepper.
stock stuff. So really, at least my kids, and I think they think I'm half crazy. I'm like, look, I've got this. If everything goes tits up, you know, I have food over here and I've got water over here. So just get here if you can.
Or do you have a backup location too?
No, I don't.
That's the bad thing right there.
Yeah, I don't have one. Unless I go over to some friend of mine's house, you know, which, you know, I don't want to be couch surfing.
Well,
Well, they can tell you got a boat. You need to find one. Them lakes around you, find something that's got an island on it. One thing you'll have over it, unless they got a boat, they can't get to you.
That ain't a bad idea. I do have a boat. I do have a boat.
but that's why you start talking to your friends now about things like that.
You don't want to run off into nowhere and not know
Yeah.
what's there that you can survive off of, or you know, I mean,
Yeah,
you
and that's
got to know wherever you're going. The people always talk about, oh, I'm just going to pack up and go, but they don't know where they're going to go.
Sometimes
No.
that's the worst thing to
sense at
do.
all.
Yeah, get on the highway with 10,000 other people going the same direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's all jump off at this tree right here.
yeah.
Well,
And
my
it-
game plan is to stay here at all costs until it gets really, you know, if there's some natural disaster where I gotta leave, then I gotta leave. But
Right.
you know, remember back, I guess it was last summer, a year ago, all the riots were going on and whatnot, and we had a ton here in Richmond because all the monuments they had to tear down and whatnot. But they were boiling over the city, and we're talking about getting out into the suburbs. Which again, I'm not in a neighborhood, but I'm near suburbs. So you could say this is the suburbs. And man, I was like, really, they're gonna come out here. I don't think that's a good idea for them because people out here are ready.
The fear factor is going to be so high on people. People are going to shoot first and ask questions.
Yeah, and a bunch of them be shooting each other.
Yeah,
I hope not.
yeah. I mean, the fear level is going to be so great. I mean, you know, I hear people talk about, oh, it's going to be a civil war. That's a joke too.
Hey,
You tell
Paul,
me what uniform are you going to look for in this civil
Yeah.
war?
Yeah, I can't see that happening either because
No.
it's
Everybody's
never
wearing
gonna
Nikes. You wouldn't be able to tell who the good guy or bad guy is.
be, yeah.
Yep. And that's what they want, though, too. They're-
Yeah. Well, that's why they do all this gun shit all the time. They don't care how many guns are
Yes.
in America. Once this all shuts down, people are going to use it on themselves.
Yep.
And on each other. They could care less. All they care about right now is raking in as much money as they can off of it.
What did I see they were spending money on today? And I was like, why? What is the purpose of that? It was something stupid. I can't remember what it was. Sorry I brought it up.
Hey,
No,
you
it's
know, you
okay,
can have
Deb.
all the guns in the world. If you can't feed yourself, a gun is no damn good.
No.
Going back to what Bonnie said, I listen to the news all day, and everything they say they're spending money on is stupid.
Yeah.
Every single program is like, why the hell do we have to do that?
But here's the thing about it: what they're doing is working, ain't it? It ain't getting better; it's getting worse.
True.
It's whatever they're doing. It's working in their behalf, not ours.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're just going to spend us into oblivion. I mean, so many million for Pakistani gender studies. What? What?
Remember what a few years ago it was for a lizard's
Mhm.
mating rituals, something like that.
Even if it's only 1.5 million, only I say, shit, I could use that money. I
Yeah.
could start up a shelter somewhere and help homeless people. You
I
know,
was
for
gonna
that
say
kind of money.
you could spend all that money on actual things that matter, like homeless people,
Yeah,
veteran or otherwise. You know, give them all a bunch of tiny houses somewhere, or fix up the places that have been abandoned, and then
I don't know what the answer to that crap is, man. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I saw a video just yesterday. I think they were trying to clean. I'm with bulldozers. They're trying to clean up a section of Oakland. It's all these homeless, with tarps and tents and everything. And I'm like, it's a drug problem and it's a mental illness problem and it's a problem of people don't want to work. And might clean this street up, but where the hell are all these people going to go? Well, what are you going to do with them? Just go somewhere else.
And in some cases, they're paying them more to stay home and not work than they are to go to work.
That's what I hear. Yeah. I think it's in LA. Homeless people get like $200 a week, which doesn't sound like much. But if you're a drug addict and you don't care if you live on the street, that ain't bad. Plus you're probably hustling some here and there, and then every week you get another $200, man. What the hell? That's coming out of my paycheck.
Nancy, I know you're in a bad location with people like that.
They either figure it out or they won't. You can't make people, no matter what, you can't make a grown person do shit.
True.
Nancy's right, though, because there is a lot of people that, they keep touting on the news, the economy's good and everything. And there's people that believe that shit. The economy ain't good.
Yeah, whole chicken $8-10, dozen eggs $5-6. Yeah, that's all good.
Well, and I saw something about blue helmets. I don't think that it's going to be that identifiable because everybody knows. It's going to be different. Yeah, what if we have all these people that's been coming in for years? First year Obama was in, that many years. And
they've been coming in longer than that, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, they have, but I'm just using that for an example. So what if, all of our guys are deployed all overseas, helping all over there because they need it so bad. And it's not our guys in our vehicles and uniforms. Just a thought. Well, yeah, I got quiet.
Well, because you were talking. We didn't want to talk over you.
Okay.
And I'm still playing in traffic until I can find a rest area or somewhere to pull into and call it a night.
And I know it stinks to think about all that, but different things just cross my mind. But
sure.
different
And that
scenarios.
certainly could be the case in addition to sleeper cells and all kinds of other stuff.
All right, I'm going to bed. I'll tell you the secret to it all. It starts at home and in your communities. After that, it doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
Glad you got to see me, George. Well, I'm joking. Really good to see you, though, man. I hope you're doing better.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
it was definitely good to see you. Go get some rest.
It was good.
I'll be around a little bit, but
Good night.
Thank
you guys have a good day, and remember, man, it starts at home. It starts at home.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Love you, George.
It was
You
good.
take care of
hearing from you.
yourself.
Well,
Rest
at
well.
home, it's just me and my cat, and I'm pretty sure he's on my team, but I'm not quite completely convinced.
I mean, worst case, you could barbecue the kitty, so you'll be all right.
Yeah. When Y2K came, I had 3 orange cats. They were my Y2K food. They were going to be my my cattle.
Hi, Cindy and Hick Gal. I know I'm missing somebody.
Hey, Hick. Yeah, I'm not saying a whole lot because I feel like shit.
And I'm only saying a little bit here and there because I are concentrating.
I think when everybody goes running, I'm going to run for mayor.
There you go.
Get them all together, all the crazy Freedom Seed soldiers. I'm going to organize them. So what are you guys protecting? You can't just protect your own house, right? It's too late at that point. Start setting up blocks, digging porta potties. Everybody can have some chickens. See, like my chickens in their backyard. They'll have chickens in their backyard, a garden. Have a army of firewood cutters, cutting firewood, making sure everyone's stocked up on firewood for the winter.
Start putting fences, walls up around the area there, and expand it as people join.
Yep.
Then you got to govern all those people.
They'll be busy. They're not going to be the ones looking for trouble. They're not going to start the, you know what I mean? They're busy building a community, building a life. I mean, you might have the town drunk, and so what?
Yeah, it's going to
Even
turn
that
into
guy.
like an old time, the old gold mining camps.
Hey,
Yeah.
Vaughn,
Yeah, if, in that situation, first thing I'm going to do is open up a bar.
See, now you're thinking, get you a still.
I ain't
like
I
Vanessa
ain't cutting no
earlier.
damn lumber. I'm opening up a bar. I'll be slinging drinks, baby.
See, there'd be room for that because we'd offer that security. You'd have that safety there, you know?
There you
And
go.
could have a bar.
Ed, Sinus, and Crud. Everybody was around here sneezing and coughing and sore throat and back behind their eyes and nose. And I ended up getting it out there laying on the ground, working on that mower, I guess. So I had pollen all over me when I come in, so I'm guessing that was part of it. Pollen and whatever else is in the air.
I'm in lawnmower hell right now too. Guess what mine's gotten down to? The voltage regulator and the alternator, which is a stator that goes around the flywheel.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I got to tear this whole freaking thing apart, man.
Mine's out there with the motor pulled off. I ended up with that. What happened? I slung a rod in that motor, and I bought that Honda motor to go on it to replace the Kohler. And the damn pulleys are different where it connects to the crankshaft to hook up your drive and your PTO clutch for your blades. So now I'm
Yeah, that's my problem right now too. Is I need to get parts numbers, which are kind of hard to get, so I don't order the wrong ones. I mean, the one cool thing is I can go on to Amazon. Like I already replaced the solenoid switch and the starter, and that wasn't what it was. So I got a brand new solenoid switch and new starter on there. But I mean, they were in my house like within a day from Amazon. So I was like, cool. And thank God they both fit.
what size motor? What's on it?
17.5 Briggs and Stratton.
Those are Briggs and Stratton's a pretty good solid motor. You'll have
Man,
problems with it every now and then, but they last a long time.
It runs great, but what it's doing is, and not to bore the chat, but if I've got a fully charged battery, I could start it one time and cut all my grass. And like if I got to pee or something, I just leave it idling, go in the house, come back. And when I put it back in the shed, I'll try to start again and won't start. So it's draining the battery the whole time I'm running it. So that's the problem there. So there's no...
Easy thing. Put a charger out there, trickle charge, and hook it back up to it every time you get done.
That's what I've been doing, my friend. That's what I've been doing. I don't want to keep going like that, though, man. It's like, nah. So now I got to get a flywheel puller. Yeah, it's just been a nightmare. And then I'm going to tell you, I actually screwed up too, because I pulled the top shroud off where all the flywheel motors and everything's right there.
Yeah.
Because I had to do that to replace the starter. But when I put it back on, you know, they got this flimsy metal like heat shield thing or something.
Yeah.
It didn't go right in the slot where it's supposed to. I went to try to start it up, and it hit the veins on the thing that's on the fan that's on the flywheel and broke half the damn veins out. And I'm like, dick on it. So now I
I can tell you don't have to have a flywheel puller. I'll tell you an easy way to do it. Get you something put under one side to pry up on.
Yeah.
And have you like a brass hammer or a dead blow hammer, hit it directly across from it, hit it straight in, and it'll cause it to rock and pop loose.
Yeah, I'm scared of that. I've looked it up online. I've seen that technique, and I'm a little bit scared of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the gear puller. That's what my old man would do, the flywheel puller. You know, you get the screws, and I'm just going to go ahead and get it, man. Screw it. I
got them around here, but I'm just so used to doing it that way that I find a high spot on there where I know it won't break easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen several people pop them off like that, and I'm just a little bit. I'm like, man, I'm the guy that's going to screw that one up. I'll spend the $15 on a flywheel puller. Even that ain't easy. It ain't easy to get a flywheel off of anything.
Sometimes it can be, but you typically know it's not.
Typically
Shut up,
not.
you stupid buzzer.
The hell's
Sorry,
that
y'all.
beeping noise?
That's
Well,
a cigarette machine.
some dumbass thought it'd be an absolutely fucking brilliant idea to stick a lane departure fucking signal in the damn semi truck. And so every time it thinks you're gonna do something, all you hear is beep, beep.
Way it's coming out of the speaker here, it sounds like somebody's beeping something outside the window.
No, unfortunately, no. No. They just
Good
thought
to
it'd
see you,
be really hilarious to put a lane departure warning that makes a beep sound every time you go to make a turn or whatever else. They just thought it'd be absolutely hilarious to do that.
It seems like overkill to me. I mean, it's just something that'll drive
Well,
me crazy.
yeah, that's all it does is drive you crazy. Most drivers are fairly responsible. And keyword most. And it's usually not a problem. But, you know, you get these dumbasses who don't pay attention to anything. So, you know.
Is fiber optics bad?
No,
Is it-
Fiber optic for internet? No, that's actually pretty good, I think.
They
They've
got
been-
it. They got it running through over here. I've thought about changing it. I got a high end thing through Comcast, and it's on cable. But I'm thinking about taking the fiber optics because I can get it like 100, 150 a month. It's 500 up and down, but that's solid. It's not no waiver.
It's not going to fluctuate, right? Well, that's like what I've got a Xfinity / Comcast in my area, but they don't have fiber. Whereas like Frontier has moved into the area with fiber, and they're offering like a terabyte a second download. The average speed is like 960 gigabits a second.
Yeah.
And so, and they're only charging like for the 1 gigabyte, they're only charging like $80 a month.
I need
But
to look into. They might have changed because they've had it in here a year now, so they probably dropped the price.
Right. Well, the problem in my area is they've got the wires ran. They ran the wires through the ground and everything, but they haven't activated it for whatever reason.
Okay.
With my address area, they haven't turned it on, as it were.
I'm tired of Comcast. I've got supposed to be 1 gig down. I think it's 150 or 2 gig up. But
yeah, I was gonna say with Comcast, you're lucky if you're paying for a gig like I am. You'd be lucky to get 300 a second up for download. If you're lucky, maybe 40 on a good day.
Yeah, it sucks.
For up.
I'm going to explain something to chat real quick. Chuck is streaming over on my live, and so y'all aren't seeing each other in some of the chats because some are over there and some are over here.
That's why I didn't see Daniel. Thought he was in here. He left a remark that came up, but I don't see him in the chat. I'm like, where the hell is Daniel?
The link is.
He's still in there.
I'm on Chuck's.
And so they're asking about Eric.
I think that's where I was.
The link for Bonnie's is in the comments. I'll throw it out here again, and then I'll paste it where if you guys want to come over here. That's the reason I do it, to get everybody together. But
I did put Von Erich's comment up. And see Deb.
Yeah, so I'm only seeing half the comments.
Okay.
I'm seeing the ones on Chuck.
In StreamYard, I can see both of them, but if I comment in the chat, then your chat can't see my comment, can they, Chuck?
I don't
It
think
doesn't
so.
show up in your chat. Okay.
if you comment in StreamYard, it should show up in both places. Here, go ahead and say something in StreamYard, and I'll look see if it shows up. 'Cause I'm running your chat and mine, or your YouTube and mine.
Hi, Cindy.
Alright.
See her.
Trip.
I believe there is a program that will combine all the chats. If you're going live on different platforms, it'll put all the chat on one. It'll consolidate all of them.
Yeah, Bonnie, I
Really?
see it in yours, but not mine. No, they don't see you over there when you comment.
No, I don't see
Okay.
anything.
Because I think I commented to one of them that was over there a
But I
while
can
ago
hear you though.
in chat. Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to let them know what's up.
You got to interpretate.
Yep. And I love what Von Erich has added at the end of his name. Where's your faith? Gotta have faith. Faith, faith. Gotta have faith.
Von Erich, that was a famous wrestling family. The
Yeah.
Von Erichs.
Yeah, and then somewhere or another, a bunch of them died off too.
Yeah, a lot of them committed suicide. There's only one left. David. I think it's Dave. David? I think it's Dave. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Kerry, the superstar, he was big in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, Kerry was Texas Tornado. He lost a leg in a car accident or something. And then he continued to wrestle with a fake leg. He was having a match with, I think it was Owen Hart, and his damn leg came off. And he grabbed his leg and went up under the apron, put it back on. Pretty sad. He was a badass, though. Kerry Von Erich, he was bad as shit.
He beat somebody with that leg one time, I think.
I think he did too.
And then somebody beat him with it.
Cindy said she saw my comment in your chat, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kevin Von Erich, I think, is the only one left.
Hi, Carol Z.
Yeah, they were big in Texas.
Yeah.
Hey, Carol.
Fritz Von Erich was the dad, was the father that got them all going. Yeah.
Fritz.
Fritz. Yeah, I get into all that wrestling stuff, man. I like all that back when they had their territories and stuff like that, man. That's good stuff.
Stone Cold doesn't live too far from my mama.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a great interviewer. I've been watching he has this thing called the Broken Skull Sessions on Peacock, where he interviews different wrestlers, and it might go on for, hour and a half, 2 hours. But he's a really good interviewer, though, believe it or not.
He's a good guy. I mean, just from what I've seen.
He beat up his first wife a little bit, but other than that, I think he's calmed down. I think he is a good guy. Yeah.
Did y'all see that post I put earlier on my wall about Woody Harrelson's dad being a hitman and all the shit he went through, and then he was bragging in prison about being one behind JFK? And
I've seen something about that. Now they're trying to say that Woody Harrelson and what's that other big actor? They're brothers. The guy that did the Lincoln commercials. Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
They say they're brothers. Same dad. Something.
Who's brothers to him?
Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
yeah, my wife was talking about that earlier.
I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't looked into it.
I've heard that. I've seen his brother. He doesn't live too far away either. And I don't know if he only has one brother.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing some kind of thing. I think it's this month where it's going to be some kind of free thing and get together where everybody can get online and meet people all over and conversate. He's doing it for his son. His son wants to meet people.
Yes, this is where all the cool kids hang out. All for his kingdom. That is true. Any of y'all old enough to have, when you were in high school, you had a smoking area in your school? where you can go
Yep.
smoke a cigarette.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
I think back on that now. I'm like, man, ain't no way in hell they do that shit now.
Well, when I moved to the country, the little school I went to there, they didn't have a smoking area. So we would just climb up in a tree and smoke up there.
Not anymore. You drive by a high school, yell boo, and you got 3,500 kids over in counseling for PTSD or something.
Yeah.
Today, I think I'm a girl. You know,
I identify as a cat.
all that stuff. Right. I identify as a millionaire.
No, better yet, I identify as a tax exempt individual. I don't believe I should have to pay taxes.
That's even, yeah.
I just dropped the link for everybody. They want to look at that about Woody Harrelson's dad.
They don't I don't see the boo thing in the, around here with the schools. I don't,
Excuse me.
that's why things seem so strange to me with the schools, because ours is so secure. There, I don't understand it. I can't even imagine.
Well, here in Virginia, we've had a couple of cases, not around here, but I'm talking about the bathroom thing, you know? Is it use somebody else's bathroom? Man, I got all that shit set out. It's like there was one school in Gloucester County where there was one he, she, or whatever, you know, and we were in high school, you don't know shit anyway, but it went to this big old deal, and I'm thinking, put a porta potty outside for the freaking weirdos that don't know what they are, and they can use them, and that way, you know, girls aren't getting, you know,
Right.
freaked out
Nobody's,
because some boy is coming to their bathroom.
yes.
You know, and in Northern Virginia, we had a boy that was doing that, came in and assaulted a girl in a bathroom. They put him in another school, and he did it again.
Yep.
And they're trying to act like he's innocent.
No, what you do, it's a real simple solution. Sorry for stepping on you.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
So basically what you do is you get a lot of retired veterans, you get a lot of retired cops and people who just have nothing better to do, even some parents, and you take, you know, a couple of male parents, a couple female parents or off-duty individuals, and you arm them with weapons, training, of course, you know, make sure they're proficient, and let those male and female veterans or off-duty cops or parents roam the hallways armed, and anytime you got someone who doesn't know where they are, they can ask one of these people and they'll point them to the proper bathroom. Not the one they feel like they belong in, but the one their biological gender says they belong in.
Yeah, the porta potty that says for weirdos. Just put it
Yeah,
there.
well, don't you can have the porta potty in the hallway. It didn't have to be outside. Just in the
Yeah,
hallway
you
next
could.
to the door to the other bathrooms.
You know, and that's used to be when I would see a third one, it was for the handicapped people. It was a
Yeah.
bigger with the electric door and all that.
Or now they have a third one. It's like a family bathroom, so a single dad can take his kids in there, and they have a family bathroom where, you know, the dad and the kids or whoever can go in
You
there and
got
not have them.
the diaper changing station and that whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and all that. Yep.
Well,
And
that
not have any
makes
problems.
sense.
I was in Food Line. It's been probably 6 months ago. And I'm just going to tell you, man, I'm in there. There wasn't that many people in there. And this woman was with this. I'm just going to say he was a little boy, short hair, earrings, wearing a dress, and girl shoes, and was just prancing around up and down the aisles, you know. And I mean, there's nothing I can say about it. There's nothing, you know, but maybe I gave him a funny look or something because the mother looked at me like, you son of a bitch, you know. And I just kind of went up. I'm just grocery shop. I need my bread and I need my stuff, you know. Screw it. You live your life however. But this kid was maybe 8 years old. And I was thinking, man, you know, I mean, back when I was growing up, you would get your ass beat. I mean,
You would have been humiliated too.
oh my God.
Yes.
You'd
You know
have been
what?
laughed right out the school.
And see, y'all didn't pick up on my joke where I put Count Yorga, Dylan Mulvaney stunt double.
That's
I was
all.
No, we
I was
we
waiting for
did
y'all
it.
to say something about that. I'd be like, yeah, I've been getting my ass beat all week, man. I'm getting big money doing this, man.
What were you trying to say, Chuck?
Uh, the gall of them some bitches, they can pass judgment on us for fucking passing, for just looking funny. That's a
Yep.
spectacle. But they'll turn around and pass judgment on us and run their fucking mouth.
Right.
I felt sorry for this kid, man. I really did feel sorry because I could tell the mom that's all I saw was the mom. The parents or the mom or whatever is promoting this shit, and it's like that boy's gonna have a hard life.
Look at that.
Yep.
You can't pick when you're 7, 8 years old. You can't make decisions like that. I mean, you can't,
Especially surgical ones.
especially surgical ones. Yeah. They said they've done a girl as young as 12 years old. I heard that on the radio today. They had breast removal surgery. 12 years old.
Yes. And that they don't know. And so now we're seeing the results of that with these that are growing up, and then they're regretting that
Yep.
that ever happened.
I've seen a lot of that. Yeah.
Yes. And so if they're calling it a mental illness, imagine when they grow up and realize exactly what happened to them, how much more mentally damaged they're going to be.
Well, and how much more will they resent their parents for doing some stupid things like that?
Absolutely.
They had
And-
one that did a live the other day, Bonnie, that had all the stuff done, and she says, I just wish instead of having all the support from my family and friends that I had to go ahead and do it. If you feel you need to do it, do it. She said it wishes one person would have said, don't do that. She said, now she had clubs, she had breast made. She's constantly getting urinary tract infections. She doesn't have a female thing really down there. Not to mention all kind of other things from the hormones.
Yes.
She goes, it took me a whole year to start having second thoughts and doubts about it. She goes, but everybody supported it, and the doctor and the psychiatrist and everything was all gung ho for it. And she said, anybody do little kids that way, that's the same as being a pedophile and you're manipulating children's minds.
And that they don't consider that child abuse. I cannot fathom that. Your child can go with a busted chin because I've got it's a scar. Everybody's going to bust their chin sometime or other. And they are called instantly on the parents. But then the school can say that they're going to do this without consent. And y'all with grandkids, whatever, great grandkids, talk to the parents, because I've been talking to mine and I've been showing them what the schools are starting to put out, and homeschooling is probably going to be what I'm going to be doing. And that's what I told my daughter. I used to drive 40 miles a day to make sure y'all were in a better school. So what's the difference? And she said, yep, it's looking like it's going to be that way.
You know what we used to get without consent at school was the paddle.
Yep.
And it was always the assistant principal, not the principal. I don't know why he got stuck with that, but I think he liked it. And it had holes in the paddle, so it hurt more. And you could get in trouble, and you could go in there and take the whooping, and they wouldn't tell your parents. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, we keep this between us if you take the whipping. If you were going to wimp out and go, no, then they tell your parents. But you could go in there and get the corporal punishment, capital punishment, whatever you want to call it.
Ours was twisted. They not only whooped you, then they told your parents, and when you got home, you got beat again.
No, we didn't. I don't know how it worked out, but if you took the whooping and they wouldn't tell your parents, and I was like, all right, here it is.
Not ours. They My mom was a little old school. She's like, if they mess up, you beat them. You know, spank them while they're at school with the paddle, then let me know, and I'll do it when they get home.
Oh God, that would have
I
been
got it
worse.
twice.
And I would have got the paddle. Then I would have got the belt.
Yep.
Worst I ever got it. We had a sub. I mean, a buddy of mine. We were in the front of the room on opposite ends of the front to be separated. And the teacher could keep an eye on us because her desk was in the back. And we were doing something every time she'd go back to her desk, like whispering sliding notes, whatever. And she put us at the very front corners on each end of the chalkboard. So all we had in front of us was a corner wall next to us and wall and then the chalkboard. Well, he had 2 erasers on his end, and I had that big rubber dong thing that you used to clean the chalkboard with on mine. We started sliding chalk back and forth. Next thing that went to his slung eraser, I slung an eraser. He slung one that bounced, hit me in the head, so I reached and grabbed that thing you cleaned the board with and threw it at him, and the teacher walked up between me looking to grab it and throwing it. Hit her right upside the head with it. So me and him both got sent out in the hallway. She got a hold of the principal and vice principal, said what happened. The teacher was doing something else at school while they had a sub. They sent us to lunch, and then we come back to lunch, and they told us to go sit in the little office thing off the guidance counselor.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we come up with your punishment, and I'm like, what's going to happen? Well, the assistant or the sub got us, the teacher got us, the assistant and vice principal got us. And I'm like, I don't feel good. I need to go to class. I went to the office and tried to get my mom and dad to come get me. And dad asked me what was wrong. And he goes, well, I'll come get you after you get your ass beat. He goes, but don't think you're not going to get it when you get home. So I went back and I'm like, I took it. The buddy of mine went first, and he's a little bitty guy. And first one, we only got 1 lick from each one, but his first paddling he got was from the sub, and you'd think somebody cut his damn foot off. He let out a squeal. That scared the shit out of me. And then I went, then the next one step up, him, me. I left out of that. Only one I was afraid of was the damn principal, because he had a boat paddle that he had hanging over his desk that had holes in it.
Yeah, the whole.
Brought it, and I finally seen him get to use it, but he didn't hit hard with it. He just tapped you with it. But hell, to us, he was probably almost 7 feet tall, but and skinny. But shit, when we're in elementary, middle school, whatever we were in, he looked like he was 10 feet tall walking down the hall with that boat paddle. I got home and Dad asked what happened. He said he called up and talked to the principal, and I told him the same thing. He said, he goes, well, I guess you had enough. He goes, you learned a lesson? I said, yeah, don't jackass around with kids in school. He goes, good. He goes, I'm not going to whoop you. You had enough.
That's good. But if you're, see, with me, I was skinny too, and I ain't got no ass. They ain't never had no ass, so they're likely to hit a bone or something when they.
He said the tip of it. He said when she hit him, the tip of it only caught one cheek, and the end of it hit him right on the butthole.
Right. Oh, well, that too.
He said that's why he squealed. He said it felt like she shoved it in his butt.
Wow. Never had that. Thank God.
I never got paddled after that. I always kept my shit straight. Either that or I just didn't go. Yeah, I'm Alper's Kingdom. It's kicking my shit. It's sinus, but I just ate some couple pieces of chocolate and it got me strangled and coughing, and I got made all kind of mucus. I shouldn't even touch that.
Yeah, I bet you I sneezed 15 times today.
That's the way I was yesterday, and then woke up today and I was telling all of them, dragging that croup nasty shit. I said, y'all don't watch what you're doing, licking doorknobs and shit. They all looked at me, licking doorknobs. I'm like, yeah, y'all stay sickly. I don't know what you do. Quit licking your hands after you open stuff or something. I don't know. They didn't like the sarcasm. I guess it was more pissy than sarcasm. But
I had a friend that at work that got sick, and they gave him a heart. They always think you're faking. That's one thing I hate about where I worked at. I had a broken foot, and they thought I was faking. until I went to a real doctor, got an X-ray. I got a broken foot. Oh, really? But this one friend of mine, he got bronchitis real bad, something like that, and they thought he was faking, of course. He said, "I'm going to come back up in there, and I'm going to go to the second floor. That's where all the offices was." And he said, "I'm gonna suck every doorknob in there, to transfer his
Yeah.
sickness to them." I said, "Go for it, man." He might have done it. I don't know. He was crazy enough.
Yeah, I got my foot crushed in the '90s working burying underground cable. I was teaching my helper how to run the boring machine, and it was just the one where you trench, then you run a straight bore. It wasn't directional.
Right.
And I was watching the trench, and I had this little T-post thing that had 2 hooks on it where you could hold the rods where it wouldn't pop up. Well, it was doing good, so I let loose and backed up a second. Well, them things shot up out of the hole and started spinning like a jump rope, and I stuck my hand and foot out trying to keep it from hitting me in the face. The first mistake that I always tell them not to do, and I did it, and it drug my foot in the hole and wrapped it around the rod and crushed my 3 bones in my foot. My little toe, second one, and the middle one. And it broke my first set of bones on all 3 of them toes where it wrapped around it. My tennis shoe, it was like curved around like a banana. I was walking on my heel with a sharpshooter, like a crutch. In the bottom of my shoe, part of it, you can see where it was rolled over, where it wrapped around it. And I got in, I held like a tourniquet around my ankle while I had my helper drive me to the hospital. And I told him I looked at it. I had my shoe off, and I said, I told him what I thought it was. And I said, I think 3 long bones in my foot right there are bad. Well, you let me do the.
Yeah.
I'm the doctor. You let me do that. And he looked at it and goes, how'd you know all that shit? I said, because the son of a bitch hurts. And I can tell you what hurts the worst.
It's
Moved
my
away
damn
good.
foot. Right.
And then he started drawing all over it, talking about how he needed to cut it open and get me into emergency surgery and start pinning and plating it. And I said, it looks like in the x-rays, it's like everything's lined up perfect. He goes, yeah, but you understand that I'm going to have to boot you and wrap it up to where you're going to have to keep that thing above your heart for about a month. I'm
Right.
like, I'm game. I said, I don't want you cutting on my shit if you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went home and made love to Lortab for a month. Never had to have it cut, but it still put me out of work for a year.
Man, I'll tell you, a terrible accident happened to a friend of mine I worked with. I'll try to make this quick, but it's horrifying. It's like one of those things you just like, no, that didn't happen, but it did. He had twin daughters, and they were beautiful girls too. Beautiful girls. They were, I guess, around 20 years old, something like that. So they're dating different. They got boyfriends and stuff, and they had a farm. They had a horse farm. And one of the daughters and her boyfriend had a auger, and they were planting fence posts, right?
Yeah.
And she had long, beautiful brown hair. You can see where this is going. And somehow or another, she leaned into it or something, and it grabbed her hair. And that quick, her entire scalp, her ears, everything were gone. Everything. And I mean everything. And, when I found out about it, I said, couldn't they save her scalp maybe? Because I've heard about people having their scalp torn off and they could sew it. They said, no. They said, no, it was nothing but a mush of. And to this date, she's gotten married since then and had a kid. Yeah, but she has to wear a wig. She doesn't have any ears. It's freaking horrible, man. It was horrifying when it happened.
I was lucky the same thing that happened to me happened to somebody that was wearing jogging pants, and instead of it catching their foot, it caught them jogging pants and rolled up their leg. It ended up, if they wanted to be a girl, they had the instant surgery because they grabbed and snatched the skin up one leg and all that and everything off.
Man.
And they were able to put it back, but I don't know, like you said, it rolled everything up.
Can you imagine how much that hurt? And then you throw shock on top of that, because you're going to go into shock.
They said that guy was running all over the place, screaming like he was on fire. I can imagine, but
yeah. Dang.
Yeah, they told me about that when that happened to my foot. Same thing like you talking about I was faking. I'm like, well, how many of the x-rays you need to see? You've been out of work now 2 months. I'm like, oh, so now your profession instead of disc monkey is you're a surgeon? He's like, no.
I guess they get so many people who do fake that everybody is guilty before x-rays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, anything at my work, you know, and it wasn't just me, it was everybody. You know, so-and-so couldn't be here tonight. I guess they had and we did have guys. We had a guy that called in sick one day, and he comes back the next day sunburned like hell. He'd been out on a boat all day long with his buddies partying. You know, so that just makes everybody who's legit look like shit. You know?
How did Eddie Murphy say he'd fucking shit up for everyone?
Yeah, I cussed that guy out too when he came back. I did. I gave him a ration of shit. Come back, sunburned bad enough where you could have stayed out of work because of sunburn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was. What happened? The guy that ran that part there, it was for Shreveport, Louisiana. There a bunch of them the company was out of South Louisiana, and the guy that was my boss at the time, he ended up retiring. So he said something about it, and I'm like, well, there should be a file up there, it has all the stuff in there. I said, but I tell you what, I'm not supposed to be driving, but I'm gonna drive my happy ass up there, and I said, I'm gonna come in on my damn crutches, and I'm gonna show you this shit. And you say one thing stupid, and I'm gonna shove the shit up your ass.
Was it your right foot or your left foot?
It was my right.
Okay, that's even worse. You can't. It's hard to drive with your. Mine was my left, so I could still drive.
I had to sit in the middle, and because I tried to do it the other way and just couldn't. So damn big. So I'd slide in the passenger side, get about halfway over there, and get my foot in and just sit in the middle.
Use your left foot for the pedal. Yeah. Dang. But you're faking. I tell you.
He come in there and started running his damn mouth, and I threw the file on his desk. Said, "Look at that! Before you run your mouth and make yourself look any stupider." I said, "I've unheard your ignorant mouth from everybody that works up here. All the shit you've been saying, and you don't know shit. You don't know me." He goes, "I know enough. I can fire you." And I said, "I know if I'll sue the fuck out of you, and I'll get you fired." I said, "I got hurt." I said, "I ain't talking lawsuit yet, but you keep going. I'm gonna sue you, them, Bell South." I said, "I didn't do this. I was doing something I was told to, and I was teaching my damn helper how to run a machine."
Yeah, and they're not a doctor either. Your supervisor is not a doctor, and whatever the doctor orders, they have to go along with that shit whether they like it or not.
Well, he's like, "Oh, what happened to that nice guy that was on the phone all about this?" I said, "The nice guy's gotten tired of hearing all the bullshit. Are you gonna? You saying that all these people are lying that you ain't said that?" He goes, "I said a lot of stuff." He goes, "Because it seemed that way." I said, "Well, if you were intelligent enough to open my file up," which I think Pat kept him in that drawer, and I pointed at it, and he opened it up, and I said, "It's under C, so it's not too far up the alphabet." And he pulled it up, pulled it out, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this was in there." I said, "Well, imagine that. If you use something in your head for."
And the bad thing is, I worked for that company for 35 years, and it was always that way. And so if I did have bronchitis or something, I would even not call in. I just come into work because, you know, I didn't want all that guilt trip of you're faking shit, you know.
I'll be like, when I go to clock in, "Hey, y'all, I'm sick, but I don't want to hear y'all shit. So guess what?
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
And they'd be like, no, go home."
Yeah. Sometimes.
I used to tell my guys anywhere I've worked that I was a supervisor or boss, whatever, that just keep that shit at home. I'd rather be out one guy than out everybody.
Yeah, and you know if somebody is faking. I mean, it's obvious. If somebody just got drunk and, "Oh, I don't feel good today," you know, whatever, you know that guy.
Yeah, I'd rather.
You also know the guys. You also know the guys that aren't going to do that shit. You know, so.
And if they don't want to be there, I'd rather them stay home anyway because they don't get anything done. And
they treated everybody like they were faking. I swear, I had a broken foot. And the thing with that one was, I went to patient first, and I got this Hindu doctor that said there was nothing wrong with me. And I've sprained my ankle before. Don't get me wrong. I know that sucks. Your ankle blows up and everything. And I just thought maybe that's what it was. And it didn't get better. And I went to a real doctor to x-rayed it. It's like, your foot's broken. It was my talus. If you know what that is. I don't know what that is. The bone in your foot called the talus.
I've heard of it. I remember seeing it in my stuff.
I don't even know exactly what it is, but that's what I broke. And I was out of work for 4 months. That shit.
Goodness.
Yeah. It sucked. Oh, I'm
That's
faking.
still, it's 25 years ago, and I can still look at that foot in my other one. You can still see a divot where it wrapped my foot around that. Everything kind of got a little hollow, runs from down the side of my foot between my second and third toe.
Yep.
Yeah, injuries are no fun. I've had a bunch of them in the last 10 years. A bunch.
Ed
You know what bothered
Nelson,
me?
you all still with us?
What was that, Bonnie?
I was just checking with Ed and Ronan, Meat Puppets, see
they're
if
still
they're
with us.
still with
Yeah.
us.
Me and Chuck tend to go off on tangents. Forgive us, please.
Everybody likes the soap opera, so imagine they got one for a few minutes.
Y'all are good. I'm just checking in. I need to be excused for a moment, so
It wasn't cars.
Chuck, take over for a second.
All right.
I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah, I had one of the guys that had gotten hired there. He had a truck, and when I got released to go back to work, I got in the office. They got me in there, and I looked, and my clipboard wasn't hanging up, and I looked for my keys and stuff, and it wasn't there. And I'm like, it was another guy this time. The other guy didn't pan out. It was an older, skinny guy, and he's like, "You're no longer employed here. You got released. Come back to work. You're fired." I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "You sopped this up." Yeah, I sopped it up. All right. I just made so much money. I made like 1/3 of what I was getting over here. You know what? I was told to do this. And I said, "I'll tell you what." I said, "You want to make it hard on me?" I said, "Let me tell all the guys when I walk out of here what y'all are doing to me and see what happens." I think 2 other people quit and walked out on them when I walked out.
And yeah, they after 3 months of being on disability, they cut my pay to 70%, that's difficult. I didn't ask to break my foot.
They didn't offer me nothing, and I got hurt at work, and I got workman's comp.
That sucks.
What was good about it, the 3 months that they based it on were the past 3, and they were really fucking high checks. So
yeah, your good years. Yeah. They did that with where I work too. They take your 3 best years and figure out your pension on that. But I actually left 2 years early, just because my foot still wasn't healed. I came in and limped around that freaking place, man. I'm like, I can't do this no more, man.
the foot that I screwed up don't even bother me now, but the other one did. But because a lot of the time I wouldn't even grab crutches. After about 4 or 5 months, instead of using crutches, I'd either use one as a cane or I'd hop around on my left foot. And my left foot now, my ankle gives me shit into my
yeah.
really
It takes all the brunt of you taking off the injured foot, and yeah, it catches hell. Shoot, I was so glad when I left that place, man. I had it. Now, thank God I get a pension check, every month, because I hung out for 35 damn years. But, man.
Might be the Alfred's Kingdom. Maybe the pin has worked its way around. They should be able to pull the pin out if it's been very long. 'Cause all the pins there is hold the bone together till it heals.
Shoot, I got screws in my neck too. I got 4 of them. That's just recent, within the past year. I got my neck cut open. They
Yeah, I
put the-
remember you got it. You said something
Yeah.
about it a while back.
yeah. It still ain't right.
Work
Still have
related.
numbness in my fingers and stuff.
Work related.
I think so. I think so. But I mean, I've been retired for a few years, and then it was Thanksgiving night. I went over to some friends for Thanksgiving. Everything was fine. Thanksgiving night, I woke up in terrible pain, but it was my shoulder. You know, I was like, my God, what did I do to my shoulder? And I'd broken that collarbone the same year, and I'd had the shoulder rebuilt, 10 years ago. So I just, but they got to looking at it. They said, it ain't your shoulder, it's your neck. You got stuff pinching in your neck. And so that's when they went in and did that. But I swear, I don't know if I would do it again.
Yeah, I get really bad headaches, and I'll roll my head around like in a complete circle, and it sounds like fish gravel, and I can feel tingling and sharp lightning and shit down my hands and feet when I do it. But,
Yep.
And I stop, just hold my head up straight, and it's like the headache's gone, the different weird aches are gone.
You probably got the same thing I have, which is just discs between your vertebrae that have smushed.
Yeah.
They smushed down, and so they hit 2 of mine. I said, go ahead and do 4 of them, man, while you're in there, man. They're like, no, we can't do that. They're still good. I was like, man, rebuild the whole thing, man.
What they do, jack it up and plate them together and put cushion in between it and all that.
The way he explained it, I never could quite understand it, but he said, I said, are you using synthetic stuff or cadaver bones? He goes, yeah. He goes, we take the, you kind of, they screw it in and it's got to grow back together and yada, yada, yada. So I think I've got dead people stuff in my neck. I hope it wasn't a lady, because then I might start getting horny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't exactly understand it, but I've seen the x-rays and there's these big ass screws going in. There's 4 screws going in 2 different, like this, I guess you call them. I don't know.
Female, you might turn into a Dylan zombie.
Yeah, you're right.
My mom had that kind of stuff, something done to her neck. It was supposed to have been day surgery. It was supposed to have been like a 45-minute to an hour and a half procedure. She went in and the doctor did something, ran a screw into her damn spinal cord and screwed her up the rest of her life. She's in a wheelchair.
Damn.
Walked in and never walked again.
Yeah, mine was outpatient, but it was like 3 hours.
It was supposed to have been something simple, and he put, because she was a small woman, I guess her vertebrae were smaller, and he put too long of a screw in and it penetrated the nerves.
Damn. That's sad. And how much would it suck to be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life? I just can't even imagine. I don't know how I would deal with that.
Yeah, that sounds about right from it. It probably, that's my right hip gives me, or left hip gives me hell now too. So.
Yeah, when the rain comes in and it's cold, you start feeling the pins in your shoulder and the pins in my neck. And
What gets me with my hip usually is either I'm doing something and turn funny, or when I get in the truck and I go to pick my left leg up when I sit down, and I go to, as soon as I pick my knee up and I go to sling my foot forward, like put it behind the brake, it'll do something in my hip, and it feels like, the best way to describe it, it feels like somebody runs an icicle through my hip joint.
yeah, all them nerves in there, man. And getting old sucks.
Yep.
You like that old, I don't know, like a 69 Dodge Dart that's still running, but kind of barely. All the ball joints are gone.
Rust everywhere, bottom falling out.
Front end needs alignment,
Leaking everywhere.
It's leaking everywhere. At least I can laugh about it. But I swear, it's like, damn. I mean, and I'm 63. When I turned 50, everything started going to hell. Everything started going to hell at 50.
Yeah, Dad told me. I said 50. He said it's first going to go your eyes, and then the shit that woke you up every morning is going to stare at the floor. And
Yeah. Are you good? I've literally had this happen. I'll go to bed and wake up the next day and my knee's killing me or my ankle. I feel like I got a sprained ankle or something. I went to bed. I was fine last night. I haven't done anything.
might have been dreaming, and I woke myself up like I must have been running or jumping or something. And our bed's got 4 posts on it, and I've kicked my damn post, I think, a couple of times.
I think I just sleep weird, and I'll sleep like, say you sleep on your arm in a weird kind of way, and you wake up and your arm hurts. It's like, damn, what'd I do?
Most of the time, I sleep in a recliner back here. Vicky's at work. I don't like going in the room. She ain't there, and I fall asleep back here watching TV or this shit. And I wake up, recliner's back, slid down, feet hanging off the recliner off over the edge. I don't know how I don't flip it over. I slide down, and it got my arms straight up in the air.
But you know what? No sleep is better than that recliner sleep in front of the TV. Back when I was married, I would fall asleep just like that, and I'm getting the best sleep in the world. And my wife would come in, it never failed, and she'd go, "Get up, you got to go to bed." And I get mad as hell.
Wake up, go to sleep.
I get up and go to bed, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. You know what I mean? And I told her, I said, if you see me passed out on the recliner or on the couch or whatever, leave me the hell alone. And she never would. She never would. Always. Wake up. You got to go to bed.
No,
me crazy.
I let them sleep wherever they land.
Let them sleep. If they're sleeping, let sleeping dogs lie.
Now Vicky, and if she comes in and I'm asleep in the morning, she'll fall asleep on the couch. And I tell the boys, if your mama's in here asleep, when I'm in here asleep, that means that's our bedroom. Don't come here jacking with us.
Yeah, and you're getting the best sleep in the world, too. Don't wake me up to tell me I got to go to bed. It never made sense to me. I'm like, I'm in dreamland right now.
What was that, Three Stooges? He'd slap them, wake up, and go to sleep?
Yeah.
That's when I had pneumonia. I slept in my recliner so I could kind of be more up because you're not supposed to lay completely flat. And,
that fluid, yeah.
Yep. And the kids, if I got up, I'd have to chase them out of it every time. And ever since I don't sit in that recliner anymore, nobody wants it.
Yeah. That was the thing when I had my shoulder rebuilt, I had to sleep propped up,
Mm-hmm.
And that gets old after about a month. And then I had my neck done, and I had to do the same thing. I had to sleep propped up, And after a while, it's because you want to roll over and flop around the bed and stuff, man. But you got to.
First time you do some of that shit you're not supposed to, it'll wake you up too, won't it?
Yeah, it'll wake you up. Yeah.
Oh, shit, did I break something?
Back when I still had that big neck brace on, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I was rolled over what I thought was all comfy, and I'd be like going, "Oh, I have to get back up and prop myself up again," Let all that stuff heal. It takes forever to heal. Yeah, sciatica.
I'm going to close this one down. If you want to stay live on yours.
I'm just going to drop it and close it.
Okay.
It goes away as soon as you do it anyway. So.
All right. Well, Good night, everybody. Thanks for letting me hang out and talk.
Thank you, Yorga.
Good seeing you, Yorga.
Good seeing everyone.
Good seeing you.
Everyone in chat, thank y'all. Love you. God bless you, and keep safe. We're going to make it through this. Love y'all and have a good night.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, everybody.